He is going to demolish whoever it is doing wrong and whoever is corrupt in this country. And I want you to put your hands together and welcome on the stage, Kerrie Symmonds.
Barbados Labour Party moves to Christchurch West Central at the Briar Hall playing field near the Graham Hall roundabout this Sunday at 7 p.m. Come here in Dawir, Ryan Strawn, Wilfred Abrams, Dr. William Duguid, Ralph Thorne, Tyrone Lovell, Kerrie Symmonds, candidate Adrian Medic Ford, and party leader Mia Amor Motley. Don't despair, Christchurch.
Time, but change will come. St. John, change must come. I want to say to you tonight, I'm very honest about this politics thing. I do not hide nothing in politics. I learned earlier, Clark, the best way to deal in politics is put everything on the table face up. When I was 21 years old, Errol Walton Barra passed away. On the same day that I turned 21. And I was a disgusting little boy too. I humbugged my father too. And in spite of his being a lifelong member of the Labour Party, I must tell you, I had a lot of regard for the right excellent national hero. A lot of regard and respect. And I said, I'm going to join the Young Democrats. And as a member of the Young Democrats, I campaigned out here to help put David Thompson out here. So I can speak to you in a way that most of my colleagues on the Barbados Labour Party platform tonight cannot speak to you, because I have had the painful experience of dealing with them. I am familiar with their rhythm. I understand how to roll. And after David Thompson passed away, what you heard Charles say tonight, and I want to congratulate Charles Griffin. Charles gave, I have heard several first-time speeches from candidates. Charles spoke knowledgeably about his constituency. He spoke with confidence about his people. He spoke with authority, overwhelming authority about the issues in St. John, man. And he spoke better than Mara Thompson has spoken in 9 years in Parliament. And that is the representative that you must invest in. And if George Pilgrim is being foisted on you, St. John, I say to you, they used to sit down in the auditorium and say that people in St. John drink political water. Or like Frandel Stewart used to sit down and laugh. Man, you can do whatever you want with St. John, man. It don't matter. We will always win St. John. That has been Frandel Stewart's philosophy. And I say to you tonight, as one who understands how they roll, who has had the painful experience of sitting behind closed doors with them, to hear how they think when you cannot hear what they say, that you, St. John, must demand, not ask, demand the level of respect that you deserve, because you have been faithful to the Democratic Labour Party from the time there was a Democratic Labour Party. And you never turned your back on the Democratic Labour Party. There's no constituency in Barbados that has been faithful to a political party with such overwhelming commitment for so long. And you do not deserve in St. John. I speak to all the residents within earshot of my voice. You do not deserve to be treated like common dogs, where you voice somebody who walking about saying he don't even know anything about St. John, but he will learn on the job. After Parliament has come to closing time, after the constitutional time allowed to the Prime Minister has vanished and come to an end, he still cannot tell you that the person who come into you name so-and-so, that you could evaluate, that you could get a feel for them, that you could come to know them and understand them and get an idea what philosophy they have, if any. But they cast an opportunist among you and you are expected to lap it up. And I say to you, St. John, understand your value as people. Demand better. And in Charles Griffith, you have the best of the first time that are being offered anytime across the history of this parish. But beyond that, I come to you tonight to say to you that I am deeply disappointed that for all we have done across Barbados as a people, all we have done to develop this island as a people, that we came to the point today is only a few scattered showers. Don't panic. We are blessed people, you can get a little drizzle. But we came to a point today, ladies and gentlemen, where the British press has said about your land and mine, and stories are now being carried on it around the world, that this country, this land of our birth, is a place of social and economic decay. And they've identified to the whole world the issues of children being knifed in the belly in the classrooms and on school buses. They've identified to the whole world the fact that garbage is not being collected in some parts of Barbados for a month. They've identified to the whole world that sewage flowed in the streets of the South Coast for 2 years. They've identified to the whole world 21 people get killed or get shot on Kadooment Day. And they said that Barbados, as they said about Haiti before, that Barbados is a place that you would better be served to avoid. And this Barbados never deserved that. We are in this position because the Prime Minister of Barbados has decided that he is too damn don't care-ish to intervene in some of these issues, ladies and gentlemen, that have been going on, that have been plaguing Barbados for over 2 years. It is 2 years now that we've had the sewage problem that the right about in England today. It is over a year now, or 2 years now, that we have had the sanitation problem that the right about in England today. It was a year ago that we had the first demonstration of classroom violence to the extent that we have today. And in none of these things has Prime Minister Franders Short not spoken. In none of these things has he intervened and used the authority vested in him as leader of this land to bring rescue to Barbados' circumstance. But now, having done nothing, he has the temerity to come and tell you that he wants you to give him another term of office, re-elect him, and that he is not calling any election in Barbados because he won't make history. No, good gracious God, man. Friend is short, and we stand here, ladies and gentlemen, in St. John. We stand here in St. John in the constituency that was represented by the Right Excellent National Hero, where he wanted to make history too. But the national hero made history by taking Barbados from being a colonial backwater that nobody didn't know nothing about and making Barbados one of the finest first-class developing post-colonial states to be found anywhere on planet Earth. David Thompson also had this constituency on whose soil we now stand. And he had ambitions to make history too. But he made history by demonstrating political brilliance, mastering his craft, shaping his party's leadership, and moving that party from opposition benches into government and defeating one of the finest prime ministers that Barbados ever produced. Fate was unkind to him and it took his life after that. But the point is, he too made history. What is it about Frandl Kruger? that he can only understand making history by destroying the image and frustrating the reputation and tarnishing the name of Barbados. And I beg you, friend of Short, I beg you, and I'm looking directly in the camera, friend of Short, I beg you, do not make any more history. You have made enough. In case you forget, you made history when you pulled down the ladder of economic opportunity from the young men and women and the sons and daughters of St. John and the sons and daughters of St. James and the wider Barbados, so that they could not get access to free tertiary education at the University of the West Indies. You made history then, friend of Short. And in case you forget, friend of Short, you made history when you became not the first prime minister, but the only one anywhere on planet Earth, anywhere in the world, to preside over 21 downgrades of his country's reputation. Friend of Short, you made history. You made history when we became the only place in the Caribbean to have feces, balls of human jobby floating on the roads across an entire coast. And for 2 years you did nothing about it, friend of Short. You made history then too. So I beg you, Star. I beg you, Star. Don't make no more history. Ring the bell. That's what you have to do. Ring the bell. And don't just ring it. Stop telling foolish lies. Because we all know that you're not loitering around because you, friend of Short, trying to do nothing to rescue Barbados. But friend of Short, you never did a thing for 10 years to put Barbados in a better position. You put yourself. You bring out 2 brand new Mercedes-Benz up to last year. But you don't do nothing for Barbados, friend of Short. What friend of Short is loitering and clinging to power for, let's be very clear, is because he so mismanaged this country and so mismanaged his own party that he can't even find candidates to run for the Democratic Labour Party now. Does explain the confusion out here in St. John. It explains why in Christchurch East, Minister Dennis Law has been in and out of hospital for weeks. He is not able to walk about and canvass. But from the Short cannot make a determination if to keep Dennis Law or retire Dennis Law, because he can't find a body to replace Dennis Law. Huh? I know you done with it. Don't worry about that. But you need to understand why from the Short telling foolish lies. There's March. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me. There's March. It was last month that he reconstructed and put together 3 near pamby candidates that together can make one to run against me and Motley Ronald Toppin and myself. Patrick Todd, a brand new second-hand car. A woman named Kim something or the other, I can't remember, and nobody else can remember her name. Where she worked, nobody can remember. What she did there, nobody can remember. Anything that she did of excellence or significance, nobody can remember. There's nothing outstanding that anybody can remember in her adult life. The best you can say about Kim, whatever her name is that she has been a forgettable experience. And then, a fellow whose closest friends and nearest and dearest to him call him Anus, a man named George Conley, that running down in St. James Central. And you would have heard him on the radio on Tuesday in the People's Parliament. You heard Ryan Strawn, did you not? And you should congratulate Ryan Strawn for wiping the floor with them. But Ennis, Sanka Price is the moderator, and Sanka Price is easily the most easygoing, genteel of persons. Where's like a price on the radio saying, Mr. Conley, take your face out the phone. Mr. Conley, I asked you a question, you're looking at the phone, you expect to find the answer right down in there. Mr. Conley, but you were asked a question about the foreign exchange position in Barbados. What are you waiting on? Somebody to text you the answer? And then the body sitting down next to you said, look, the WhatsApp now come in, the phone going off. And Enos, bright boy that Enos is, he said, he, you see me? I mean, good God, man, is this what they have brought us to? Is this what they have brought us to? From a short, can you do nothing better? Can you produce nothing of more substance? And ladies and gentlemen, let's be very real. You don't unleash that on a serious country, facing serious times, serious people, in the middle of serious crises in their life. You can't unleash that. And I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the difference in this election is a simple one. The Labour Party of 2018 is a Labour Party on the cutting edge. A Labour Party that is ready to govern. It is a Labour Party that is ready to rescue this country from the disastrous path that it is on. We need Charles Griffith as part of the team in Parliament. We have the most able political leader of any of the groups assembled around Barbados. And we have a depth and breadth of experience and understanding that is second to none in Barbados. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you that the distinction between the two parties goes deeper than that. It goes to what you can only call the issue of credibility. And I come here to St. John. I got the manifesto of 2008. You see the former Right Excellent member, David Thompson, there up on the front. Right? Now, you know, I saw Mara Thompson in Parliament one day with tears in her eye. And she had this in her hand. And I asked her, well, what happened? She looked up at me, she shut the book. And she said, well, what didn't happen. And got up and moved. Before she shut it, I noticed she had the page 42 mark. I must tell you, Thompson was not my favorite fella, but I understood why tears were in her eye. I read, and I tell you, tears come to my eye too. This is what it says. In the first 100 days, we will introduce agricultural protection legislation that will require a 2/3 majority of both houses of Parliament for a change of use of land from agriculture, and we will reserve 30,000 acres of land across the countryside for agricultural use. Now, I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that we are here in St. John, the most fertile of the soils, the most fertile and the largest of the plantations. Wakefield, Poole, Clifton Hall, I left out any? Henley, and the giant out there that they left in nettles for about 10 years, Todd's Estates. Not true? Hubbersall. No, I talking about the ones that ain't get touched, that the body can't be found doing nothing in the soil. That the sons and daughters of St. John could have been put to work. We left a sugar crop that was bringing 40,000 tons of sugar a year in Barbados. You know that now the struggle to get 6.5 or 7,000 tons of sugar. But yet still, the people in the Democrat Labour Party will tell you that they want to build a $500 million sugar factory. I ain't talking about the fact that I can't start the crop for this year. I talk about the fact that there are people in the cabinet of Barbados who have done nothing to advance agriculture in this country or in this parish, which means they've done nothing to advance the opportunity for St. John men and women to earn a living the way they've earned a living for years. But still they want to build a $500 million US sugar factory. Not because they love concrete, but because they love steel. The same document at the same page goes on to say, We will make it compulsory that all property sales be advertised with prices on the local market prior to promotion and sale on the international market to non-Barbadians. All property sales. But yet still, we in the Labour Party had to expose the fact that the Barbados Hilton, that Errol Barrow, make friends with Mr. Hilton. You know, the man actually named Hilton. Errol Barrow met friends with the man to get the Hilton to come here back in the 60s. And Errol Barrow, not Kerrie Symmonds, got anybody, the right excellent national hero said that it is one of the most prestigious pieces of real estate to be found in Barbados. You know, from the short, make arrangements to sell the damn thing. And I tell you, but his manifesto is telling you that not only should you have been told, but the price should have been advertised in Barbados. You understand the extent to which these people have turned their back on the philosophy that governed and guided the founding fathers of the Democratic Labour Party. And then even today, you would have seen in the paper, Don Villain is telling you, don't worry about the DLP today, vote for what happened in 1961. But you know the interesting thing about 1961, comrades and friends, is that in 1961, Don Innes was not yet born. Nor was Chris Sinclair. Nor was Richard Seeley. So we are at the thin end of the intellectual wedge. Because they're coming to tell you, sensible people that went to school, that you should vote for a government that will be in existence in 2021 on the basis of what people who were not yet born did in 1961. Not one of them could have been in the Errol Barrow cabinet. Not one. So the point that I am making to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that this Democratic Labour Party is a vessel that has lost its way. It is a vessel that hit up on a reef and is going down hard. Franda Stewart knows this. He is a political desperado clinging to power, loitering in the office of the Prime Minister after closing time. And we have a simple mission for Franda Stewart. Franda Stewart, start to respond to the issues that have already gone into the public domain are coming out of the Barbados Labour Party's manifesto. Start to respond from the short to the issues, because while England was condemning this land of ours today about the fact that sewage is flowing in the streets, the Barbados Labour Party is the only party that has put a solution for the problem before the country. While England was condemning Barbados today about little children getting knife in their belly on a school bus, the Barbados Labour Party in its manifesto is the only party that has put a response to that plight before the country. While England was condemning Barbados today, the Barbados Labour Party is the only party that has made a commitment by way of its manifesto to what we would do about the problem with the sanitation trucks in this country. You understand it? If you drive through Cynthia constituency, you will see a brand new building being built. I hear it costs $40-odd million. I have no doubt that not just concrete, enough steel in there too. Huh? And that building, that $40 million for building, I hear that. But you can tell me you can't find 2 or 3 million for the sanitation trucks. So that today, a white woman can write in England to say about we down here that Barbados smells filthy. Barbados smells not just, as she put it, not just because of the feces in the street, but because garbage is not collected for months in some part of the country. Yeah, that's what it should be saying about us, man, after 50 years of independence. And that is why Mara Thompson has turned her back on them. Because Mara Thompson know that they betrayed her. She ran as David Thompson's queen, and they treated her as though she was the party's vagrant. She came to you as a queen, and they treated her like a vagrant. She had to wait 10 years for the St. John Polyclinic to be done when David Thompson told you it was the first priority of any government that the Democratic Labour Party would form. When water could not be found in the pipes in St. Joseph and in St. Thomas and in St. Andrew, it was also missing from in the pipes in parts of St. John and Gall Hill. Mayor Thompson said there was no water for 5 months. And you know that tonight, to this day, David, what your name? From the short, has not made it possible, found the time to pay a single visit to the homes in Gall Hill to commiserate with the people who have been loyal, who have been faithful, who have been dedicated to the Democratic Labour Party. From the time there was a Democratic Labour Party, he couldn't even pass air upon them. But wants you to re-elect him. St. John, tell Friend Stewart politely, sir, go to hell. This constituency deserves better. The country deserves better. We have put before you a team of candidates, all of whom have come to acquit themselves and have done so with excellence and in some cases stunning levels of expertise in their fields. We are a party that is the oldest political party anywhere in the Caribbean. This party has a breadth of history and people who are not candidates anymore but who were candidates, who are representatives, who are there ready, willing, and able to put shoulder to the wheel to help turn around the plight and the fortunes in Barbados. And ladies and gentlemen, all we need, all we ask you for is the opportunity. The opportunity. Night after night, week after week, we have come to you. We have outlined to you the problems facing Barbados. We have come to the point now where we start to speak to you about the solutions to the problems facing Barbados. We have gone and participated. They wanted to have a people's parliament. They've had two. First, Kirk Humphrey, he polished the floor with all of them. Then Ryan Strawn, he polished the floor with all of them. Who they will say next week, the same thing will happen again. Whoever it will be. The Labour Party, if the same one, because there's only so much lips they could take. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that as I leave this platform, I leave you with a simple message. Invest your confidence in the lady who has been tried in the balances. She has been weighed in the balances and has not been found wanting. Give Mayor Motley the chance, as I ask you to give Charles Griffith the chance, to go forward and chart a direction in the interest of the welfare and the advancement and development and the turnaround of this place called Barbados. The Dems don't want from the shore any more than you. That's why there was an eager 11 in 2011. And the same way they decided that they want from the short, then they mean tonight they don't want from the short. They just can't decide who the hell they want. But we know who you want. Stand with us and we will stand with you. Good night and God bless you all.